All right. I that once was a man of the north am now an exile here. Bird and man, in their different kind, are each blank in the south. Strangers. What led to your exile? Really? Ah. Oops. So the question is, what led to your exile? This is releasing of migrant yen, otherwise known as wild goose. All right. At 9 rivers in the 10th year in winter, heavy snow. The river water covered with ice and the forests broken with their load. The birds of the air, hungry and cold, went flying east and west, and with them a migrant yen loudly clamoring for food. Among the snow it pecked for grass and rested on the surface of the ice. It tried with its wings to scale the sky, but its tired flight was slow. The boys of the river spread a net and caught the bird as it flew. They took it in their hands to the city market and sold it there alive. I that was once a man of the north, now am an exile here. Bird and man in their different kind are each strangers in the south. Strangers was our blank. Because the sight of an exiled bird wounded an exile's heart, I paid your ransom and set you free, and you flew away to the clouds. Yen, yen, flying to the clouds, tell me, whither shall you go? Of all things I bid you, do not fly to the land of the northwest. In Huai Si there are rebel bands that have not been subdued, and 1,000 armored men have long been camped in war. The official army and the rebel army have grown old in their opposite trenches. The soldiers' rations have grown so small, they'll be glad of even you. The brave boys, in their hungry plight, will shoot you and eat your flesh. They will pluck from your body those long feathers and make them into arrows' wings. So why is he in exile? The sentence we got is actually the crux of the entire poem. Bird and man. Hey, how's it going? Bird and man. Together, alone. Oh, I really wore myself out the last time I was here. I would have come back, you know, and it definitely left some good grooves in my mind, but whoa. I was really tired the next day. Tired from doing that. Not even because I got to sleep late, because I didn't really get to sleep late. It was just exhausting. But it was the best thing ever, and you know, it lingers in my mind still. I'm still wandering around that Hardy poem. I want to think about that. I've been thinking about Ariosto, so many things. So I have been hungering to come back here, but other things intervened, and you know, I'm not yet at the point where I'd put everything above it. Coconut flavored LaCroix. Lower down, there are blank. How are you doing? Lower down, there are demons. I know. I had coconut oil earlier. I got coconut spray the other day. Coconut cooking spray. It's really like, I can't believe I held out. I'd seen that before, but I didn't get out. Wow. That is very nice to have. I feel like it's a bit dark in here. At least I appear dark. Yeah, you're right. Lower down there are coconuts, of course. Ooh, of course. What else? What else is down there? Sewers. Coconuts are high up there. What else is down there? Rambo. Arthur Rambo. I'm still a bit haunted by Thomas Chatterton and his tragic death, slipping into the grave 3 days before his self-inflicted demise. Let them rent me this tomb at the last, whitewashed with the lines of cement in relief, very deep underground. I lean on the table. The lamp lights brightly these magazines I'm a fool to reread. Those books without interest. Oh, really? Where are you? You in Europe? At a vast distance above my subterranean my room houses, root fogs gather. Above my subterranean room houses, root fogs gather. The mud is red or black, monstrous city, night without end. Oh. Hail, hail, my Swedish friend. Lower down there are sewers. There we are. Lower down there are sewers. What else is down there, I ask? At the sides, only the thickness of the globe. Ah, so beneath, he's in a tomb. But above is the fog, but even farther below are the sewers. And at the sides, only the thickness of the globe. Perhaps gulfs of azure, wells of fire. Perhaps on these levels, moons and comets, seas and fables meet. Well, there's my answer. In hours of bitterness, I imagine balls of sapphire, of metal. I am master of silence. Why should a semblance of skylight pale in the corner of the vault? Ooh. So I answer what else is down there? Down there. Down there is sapphire and and fireballs and comets and stars and semicolon. Down here I am master of silence. All right. Oh, I still have that question up there. I gotta append that question. Peace with all around. Now grant repose. Oh yeah, right. Yeah, I forgot about those. It's a little bit more light. With all around now grant repose, pretty please, peacefully. Really? Oh my god, sorry. I went right to the answer. Release. Okay, I'll do another one. What was this from, though? Ooh, that was from Byron. What a shame. Sorry. The third step which Her Majesty think good, observe, was, upon return England, his coming under her court, where diverse occasions bountifully feasted her highness and her nobles, and did blank ambassadors. The third step which Her Majesty think good, observe, and did, I want to say as well, additionally, no, and did, yeah, I'm going to guess additionally. I don't know what's going on here, but If I move this closer, it will illumine me more. It does some. Oh god. So I can get like an hour in, something like that. Yep. Since you're so active, I'm chilling until I get a reasonable guess, and then I'm ethically pure. There's a beautiful saying in Confucius where he says, you know, a bird sitting on a branch is perfectly poised, just sitting there. Why can't a man be so poised? So I feel that my poise is having given my guess and not being alone. If I'm alone, then I have to keep mining into the vault. But if I'm with someone else, then I can stop mining and then put down my pickaxe and chat a bit, maybe. Yeah, well, so the whole thing about this is there's certainly no end. So another question you could ask is why move on? You know, and also with this, each of these is just a sample, and any sentence is actually exactly equal in its, well, first its spontaneous ability to just show up, but then all the ones I got previously, I'm actually judging implicitly that all the previous sentences and all the previous works don't merit being read right now instead of me dawdling on this one. But see, that's where my ethic is already getting compromised, because I want to rest here like the bird in the tree. But if I start taking seriously that maybe I'm going wrong by sitting here and not going on further, that will interrupt my poise. But I will, for now, work with my my ethic. So you're not slowing me down. You're actually granting me the opportunity to talk, which needn't be a bad thing. Although I will get restless and fill it in myself quite soon. In fact, right now, since foreign, of course. Oh yeah, you had a good guess. Yours was better than mine. Of course. What type of ambassadors are there? Foreign ambassadors. The the third step. What were the first two steps? Oh, look at this. Dodsley. Select collection of old plays. I love these things. I can't even find Dodsley. Did Ibsen write in Swedish? Okay, what is going on here? Okay, so this is some introduction of some weird play. Oh wait, you know what? I have the original file here, which... Oh, Norwegian. Can you read Ibsen? So I need... Yes. There we go. Bang! Look at this. Look how cool this is. Here we are, right into the book itself. Rubbing our nose with the bookworms and the ghosts who ever read this book. What is this? Okay, this is about Thomas Sackwell and his immortal play Ferex and Porrex. So I asked, what are the first and second steps? And I lost the third step. Okay. In the margin opposite the latter words is this note. Well, we better read the latter words. This looks like a giant quote. Oh, this is a footnote. We're inside a footnote, and we didn't even realize it. Underneath the footnote is the book, and underneath the book are the comets, and then there's the coconuts. Look at this. Here we're all the way down in this footnote, which is one of these cool footnotes. Look, it's like a double cross there. I think they call... Oh, I knew it. They call that... It has a name. It's something like an obelisk, but that's not the right word. Oh, good. So we get to read about Thomas Sackville in order to even get there. So I'll read until we get to the double cross, and then I'll follow the double cross. Hey! Oh, wow. I didn't even realize that you had answered Norwegian. Sorry, I'm not keeping track of who's here. I thought that was Gertz. You're asking, can you read it annotated? Am I asking that? I don't know. Oh, I see. Well, you aren't from Sweden. Oh yeah, nothing is. No one? No. What is your nickname again? Gertz? I'm still this just doesn't roll off the tongue, Gertz. Well, we're actually in a footnote in the preface to the Forex and Porrex. So, and we need to know what the first and second steps are. So it's going to take a little bit to get there, but I'll just read the first sentence and I'll jump down. Thomas Sackville, Lord Buckhurst, was related to Queen Elizabeth by her mother Anne Boleyn. He was born in 1536, footnote 1, educated at Hart Hall and the University of Oxford, from whence he went to Cambridge and afterwards to the Temple. What's the Temple? In his younger days, he traveled into France and Italy, and at the early period of his life, only he was, as Mr. Spence observed, what all persons of his birth ought to be, a poet. I couldn't agree more. That is such a beautiful line, and stated with hardly any irony. I would venture that. Oh, are you serious? Are you serious? Oh my god, what? Oh yeah. Okay. This stated with hardly any irony. Temple is my body. After you graduate and it's off afterwards to the body. His father, dying in 1566, left him a large fortune. Woohoo! The greatest part of which he soon spent by his magnificent manner of living. A man after my own heart. But in the end, became a better economist. That's what I got out of my prodigality as well. He served in Parliament, both in the reign of Queen Mary and Elizabeth. In 1567, he was created Baron Buckhurst. I would like to be a baron. In 1571, he was sent ambassador. Well, here are the ambassadors. To Charles IX, King of France. And in 1587, to the States of the United Provinces. That was about 200 years before the United States, but they did have the States of the United Provinces. In 1588, he was made one of the Knights of the Garter. In 1551, Chancellor of University of Oxford. Then Lord High Treasurer. Wow. Continued in that office by King James, who advanced him to the dignity of Earl of Dorset. But alas, he died suddenly at the council board in 1608 of a fit of apoplexy. Look at these two footnotes here. We have the sword after 1608, and then we have the apoplexy double cross. So the sword, that's a fitting footnote for a death notice. He had been ill for some time, and his life had despaired of 9 months before he died. Bad when your life despairs of time. His funeral sermon. Oh, that's actually where we fell into. We fell into his funeral sermon preached by Dr. Abbott. It was printed in the following curious papers extracted from it. Her Majesty, not long before her death, being pleased, as it seemeth, with some special piece of service which his lordship had done unto her, grew at large to discourse touching this nobleman, as an honourable person and a counsellor of estate, in writing hath advertised me. Her Highness was then pleased to decipher out of his life. Oh, wait. Huh? Wait. Her Highness was then pleased to decipher out of his life by 7 steps or degrees. Wow, look, there's 7 steps. I just asked for the first 2. The first was his younger days, the time of his scholarship, when first in that famous University of Oxford, or afterward in the Temple, where he took the degree of barrister. He gave tokens of such pregnancy, such studiousness and judgment. That's what this stream is, the pregnant stream. Such studiousness and judgment that he was held no way inferior to any of his time or standing, and of this there remain good tokens both in English and Latin published unto the world. This streams unto the world. Oh yeah, so here we are in the margins. We're getting there. We're getting back to in the margin opposite the latter words is this note. The life of Tressilian in the mirror of magistrate epistle prefix Aulic Bart clerk. From whence it seems that the Reverend Dean was not so well informed regarding the English writings of Lord Dorset as the events of his life. He then proceeds. The second was his travel. That was the second step. So the first were his works, I think. The first were his days at Oxford. The second was his travel. When being in France and Italy, he profited very much in the languages in matter of story and state, and being prisoner in Rome for the space of 14 days, which trouble was brought upon him by some who hated him for his love to religion and his duty to his sovereign. He so prudently bare himself that by the blessing of God and his temperate kind of carriage he was freed out of that danger. And here we are, voila. I'm back at the sentence where we started. The third step. That is such a weird phrasing. That is such a weird phrasing. Look at that. Her Highness was then pleased to decipher out of his life by 7 steps or degrees. Decipher out of his life by 7 steps. That is very strange. The third step which her majesty did think good to observe was his coming unto her court, where on diverse occasions he bountifully feasted her highness and her nobles, and so he did foreign ambassadors. There we go. At that time he entertained musicians, the most curious which anywhere he could have, and therein his lordship excelled unto his dying day. Then was his discourse judicious, but yet witty and delightful. Couldn't ask for a better sobriquet. I aspire to nothing less. Thus he was in his younger days a scholar and a traveler and a courtier of special estimation. Oh, that would be nice. Would it be presumptuous for me to call my kind listeners courtiers? We're all. How about I'll merely be a courtier alongside in this court of letters. Okay. What were the first 2 steps? Well, the first was his lovely days at Oxford before the temple. The second, his travels in Italy and France, where he narrowly escaped imprisonment for his loyalty and kindness. Done. Okay, I'm getting rid of that why you so sad so I don't forget. Yay, yay, poetry, poetry. Poetry is my favorite. Eft looking back would fain have run away, but he him forced to stay and tell in free the secret cause of his blank. Yet nathermore by his bold hearty speech could his blood-frozen heart emboldened be, but through his boldness rather fear did reach, yet forced at last he made through silence sudden breach. I have a very strong guess in my pocket here. Dismay spelled with an A-I-E. Oh, and I can rest again. I thought of what I'll share this idea with you. So I'm gonna persist at this since I love this, and what I'm hoping is that eventually I'll find fellow courtiers like myself. Thank you, Spencer. I will use yours in a second. I will find fellow lovers of the word as myself, and we will construct a cam where we'll set up a scene that will be a decadent couch from ancient Greece or Rome, and we will recline while taking turns or hiring servants to feed us grapes and other delicacies while we answer the questions. Um, that's my aspiration. Okay. I said I would give it to Spencer there. Ooh, wow. Wow. We all gave very good guesses, but not good enough. Not good enough. It was the secret cause of his perplexity. Yes. Yes. I know. I would go, but that would be fun. Now, yeah, I could come up with the virtual grapes perhaps, but oh man, what to set up the scene and to do it in character? Oh my god, that would be beautiful, beautiful. Okay, but that wouldn't free us from the burden of having to do all this hard work, but it would lessen the suffering um with luxury. So eft looking back, I think that means before. Before looking back, he fain, meaning he like readily would have. Really? Okay, well, Gertz, my friend, is in Sweden. So we might have to take it to Europe or I don't know. Um it'll happen. I think this niche here is secure. I don't anticipate a lot of competition from the other gamers. I think Twitch is actually a really good venue because there are very intelligent people here. So there will be a sizable minority all over the place that I think would take interest in this. So we'll see how it goes. So he would have run away, but he forced him to stay and Tellen free the secret cause of his perplexity. Ooh, yeah. I have a pretty good couch, but yeah. Oh my god, I can I just thinking about it. Oh my god, mixing genuine, authentic, ancient decadence, and then having it spread live throughout the universe, while using the technology to dig deeper than ever into the vault of knowledge and mystery. Well, obviously, what was the secret cause of his perplexity? We could try the togas. Um, yeah, I don't know. If you can wear a toga without it being ridiculous, it definitely can't be ridiculous. It has to be beautiful. Yeah, what was your secret perplexity? Does he answer it though here? Yet nevermore by his bold hearty speech could his blood frozen heart emboldened be. But through his boldness rather fear did reach, yet forced. At last he made through silence sudden breach. So he does talk here. Okay, well what secretly perplexes you thee? What secretly perplexes thee? Oh my god. Yeah, why is that? Oh my god. Sorry. I'll just work around it. Okay. Where is my little question? There it is. The question is hoisted above. Okay. Now, oh yeah, where is this even from? I have no idea. Anyone have any guesses? Spencer's the Fairy Queen. Ooh, oh, great. Man, Spencer has such beautiful rhythm. It would be worthwhile experimenting with different beats in order to hit the right Spencerian rhythm. Because there's just an unending stream of Spencer available. He really doesn't get a whole lot of cred. I mean, Fairy Queen is kind of well known, but I guess it's partly the topic. These kind of chivalry epics, they don't, somehow they just kind of fell out. I think they're due for a revival here. Here's our maybe I should keep that. I think I will keep that because those definitions could actually come up as sentences, and that would be kind of cool, actually. Yeah, that was me trying to use the arrow keys. So I'm sorry about that. All right. Oh yeah, what's secretly perplexity? Perplexity. Wow, why'd that get so big? What? Oh my god, what's happening? That's quite a question there. That is so weird. I have no idea what. Did I like... Ah! That's not a secret anymore. What the heck? What? Okay, I'm like totally confused. I can't get rid of it. It's blinding me. The perplexity is blinding me. Help. Oh, whoa, look at that. It's doubling everywhere. Oh my god. Okay. Get down to size, you perplexity. Not that big, despite your bold hardiness breaking suddenly or silence. Okay. Bam! Okay, gone. Sorry about that. Here we are. Bam. Bam. Oh wait, that's not even the right perplexity. We have a different perplexity. There's a lot of perplexity in here, or more than one. How many perplexities are there in Spencer's The Fairy Queen? I'm not even sure this is the whole poem. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. There, secret cause, sad perplexity, more perplexity, great perplexity again, his perplexity. Oh, that's not even the right one. Yeah, it isn't. Oh no, it is. Okay. Yeah. So I'll read 2 stanzas before it, since I just love this. And we are asking, what is his perplexity? His deception, you say? Okay. That's a good ventured guess. The Red Cross Knight toward him crossed fast, to weet what Mr. White was so dismayed. There him he finds all senseless and aghast, that of himself he seemed to be afraid. Maybe you're right, it is his deception. whom hardly he from flying forward stayed, till he these words to him deliver might: Sir Knight, areed ye who hath ye thus arrayed, and eke from whom make ye this hasty flight, for never knight I saw in such misseeming plight. He answered not at all, but adding new fear to his first amazement, staring wide with stony eyes and heartless hollow hue, astonished stood, as one that had espied infernal furies with their chains untied. Him yet again and yet again bespake the gentle knight, who naught to him replied, but trembling every joint did inly quake, and faltering tongue at last these words seemed forth to shake: For God's dear love, Sir Knight, do me not stay, for lo he comes fast after me. Eft looking back would fain have run away, but he me forced to stay. He him forced to stay and tellen free the secret cause of his perplexity. Yet nethermore by his bold hearty speech could his blood-frozen heart emboldened be, but through his boldness rather fear did reach, yet forced at last he made through silence sudden breach. Is some knight being forced to talk? I'm gonna keep reading a little bit. And I am now in safety sure, quoth he, from him that would have forced me to die. And is the point of death now turned from me, that I may tell this hapless history? Fear not, quoth he, no danger now is nigh. Then shall I you recount a rueful case, said he, the which with this unlucky eye I late beheld, and had not greater grace, me reft from it, had been partaker of the place. Okay, I will resist the temptation to go on, although it is almost irresistible, and I will go back and puzzle the question, which you can't. The giant question: what was the secret of his perplexity? Is now hiding up here. What secretly perplexes thee? So what is the answer here? I have to use my brain. No. I might just go with your answer and be done with it. Okay, so it is this kind of whimpering person somehow explaining something. Explaining why someone else had to do something, him forced to stay and tellen free the secret cause of his perplexity. So actually, to answer this, we might actually have to go back to find out like what happened. Because where we started, the Red Cross Knight, he was basically telling this messenger or whatever he is, to fess up. Oh man. All right. Well, I'll read two stanzas before, but I don't think I'm gonna get to the bottom of this perplexity. It might be worthwhile though. But you know what I'll do is I'll cheat and then I'll look up the plot, since I think I'm of the opinion I'm abandoning my austere regime of not looking up summaries of the plots, and I will try and use the plot to my advantage. So as they traveled, lo, they 'gan espy an armed knight. Toward them galloped fast, that seemed from some feared foe to fly. Oh, this is probably the person they interviewed. Or othery grisly thing that him aghast. Still as he fled, his eye was backward cast, as if his fear still followed him behind. This is indeed what happened. Alls flew his steed as he his bands had braced, and with his winged heels did tread the wind, as he had been a foal of Pegasus, his kind. Nigh as he drew they might perceive his head to be unarmed, and curled uncombed ears, upstaring stiff, dismayed with uncouth dread. Nor drop of blood in all his face appears, nor life in limb, and to increase his fears in foul reproach of knighthood's fair degree, about his neck an hempen rope he wears, that with his glistering arms does ill agree, but he of rope or arms has now no memory. Whoa. This has actually gotten my attention. Okay, I'm jumping back. I can't resist. We're in stanza 17. So feasibly I could start from the beginning of this, but I won't do that. I'm going to jump back a few more though. So we're still trying to get what was the secret perplexity, and that was the confession of somebody that this knight who was all scared came to tell the Red Cross Knight about. So we're getting there. We're like 1 or 2 steps away. Thine, O then, said the gentle Red Cross Knight, next to that lady's love shall be that place, O fairest virgin, full of heavenly light, whose wondrous faith exceeding earthly race was firmest fixed in mine extremest case. And you, my lord, the patron of my life, of that great queen may well gain worthy grace, for only worthy you through prowess prief, if living man mote worthy be to be her lief. So diversely discoursing of their loves, the golden sun his glistering head gan show, and sad remembrance now the prince moves, with fresh desire his voyage to pursue. All's Una earned her travail to renew. Maybe that's a name, Una. Then those 2 knights fast friendship for to bind, and love establish each to each other true, gave goodly gifts the signs of grateful mind, and eke the pledges firm right hands together joined. Prince Arthur gave a box of diamond sure embowed with gold and gorgeous ornament, wherein were closed few drops of liquor pure of wondrous worth and virtue excellent, that any wound could heal incontinent. Which to requite the Red Cross Knight, okay, so Arthur and the Red Cross Knight are talking, him gave a book wherein his Saviour's testament was writ with golden letters rich and brave, a work of wondrous grace and able souls to save. I want that book. Thus been they parted, Arthur on his way to seek his love, and the thother for to fight with Une's foe, that all her realm did pray. But she, now weighing the decayed plight and shrunken sinews of her chosen knight, would not a while her forward course pursue, ne bring him forth in face of dreadful fight, till he recovered had his former hue. For him to be yet weak and weary well she knew. So maybe is the Red Cross Knight the one that's weak and wan? So as they traveled, lo, they gan espy an armed knight toward them gallop fast. Okay, so she's traveling with the Red Cross Knight. Oh, okay. I'm gonna leave it there. This is Canto 9, in which, this is a nice little rhymed summary. His loves and lineage Arthur tells, the knights knit friendly hands. Sir Trevisan flies from despair, whom Red Cross Knight withstands. So it may have been Sir Trevisan, who we were hearing about his. Sir Trevisan may be the person whose perplexity we asked about. What secretly perplexes thee, Sir Trevisan? See, here you get a glimpse of how complicated answering basic questions can be. you need to almost read the whole book. That's not true, but you need to get enough of a foothold in the world of the book in order to answer the question. So I'm going to look up the Fairy Queen story in Canto 9, and we'll see if we can gain a little insight here. So this was published 1590, not that long. This was probably when, who is it? Chatterton? No. Who were we reading about before? I can't remember the name of the guy with the steps, but they were basically contemporaneous. Okay, summary. So here's the summary. Book 2, Book 3, Book 4, Book 6. Oh my God! See this. Oh, you gotta go. Oh. I'll let you know what the secret perplexity is. Or you can check yourself, because I'm definitely gonna find this out, and that might even do me for the night. Adieu, adieu. Oh my gosh. So we're in like, no, I know. I'm sorry to hear that you have to stay up so late. Maybe on weekends it'll be easier for you to visit. I'll try and do it more then. But I'm so glad you stopped by. Yeah. About the earliest it'll be for me is maybe like 2 o'clock in the morning your time, on a weekday anyway. On the weekend it would be an earlier stream. So Saturdays and Sundays Central Time, you know, mornings-ish, afternoons for you. I mean afternoon for you. Anyway, good night. Okay, so we are in Canto 9. This is how long the Fairy Queen is. The Fairy Queen is one of the longest poems ever. One of like the famousest, longest poems. So this is actually only book 1. We're in book 1, Canto 9. So here is the summary. Book 1 is centered on the virtue. Yeah, right. Yeah. Which one came first? Book 1 is centered on the virtue of holiness as embodied in the Red Cross Knight. Wow. Okay, so that was who we met, and the person who was interrogating the guy who came up on horseback all afraid. He and his lady Una, okay, so that was it. It's Una and Red Cross, travel together as he fights the dragon Error. Then separate. Oh, really? By how many years? Then separate as the wizard Archimago tricks the Red Cross Knight in a dream to think that Una is unchaste. Oh, look at that. Magician tricks him in his dream. Oh, wow. That's interesting. Huh. Yeah. The age of, that's really interesting, because it is the late 16th century, the age of epic romance. That's like prior to nation states. Close enough. Who knows? I don't know much about Tasso. Like I don't remember reading much about his biography. I'll look at Spencer's biography after I finish out this question, and then maybe we can compare that to Tasso's biography. If we reach a point where we choose not to go on with the sentences. Okay, after he leaves, the Red Cross Knight meets Duessa, who feigns distress in order to entrap him. Duessa leads the Red Cross Knight to captivity by the giant Orgoglio. That is a great name. Meanwhile, Una overcomes peril, meets Arthur. I think that's where we just were. Meets Arthur and finally finds the Red Cross Knight and rescues him from his capture, from Duessa and from despair. Close enough. Getting in the right century is probably the most, latter half of the 16th century, beginning of the 17th. Una and Arthur help the Red Cross Knight recover in the House of Holiness. Okay, that must have been just happened because Arthur and Red Cross part ways right before the part we read, with the house's ruler Kalia and her 3 daughters joining them. There the Red Cross Knight sees a vision of his future. He then returns Una to her parents' castle and rescues them from a dragon. And the two are betrothed after resisting Archimago one last time. Dang, that doesn't answer the question. I still don't know what happened. I'm tempted to read the rest of the poem and to get us up to that point. Or the rest of that book. I'm going to do it. I'm sorry. It really won't take that long. It'll take like 5 minutes. I think this is worthwhile, and it builds on our epic poetry, and it's proper. Yeah. See, I'm really. This is where. Oh, see, I don't know if you were here, or what. See, I actually came across. Like, I'm working out the proper ethic of the virtue of doing this, and I determined that to pursue wholeheartedly the answer to this question, which I am indeed doing, and driving people away because it's too much reading and not enough games, for instance, is a sacrifice I'm gonna have to make, because I am pursuing the answer. I'm not just pontificating. Yeah. So, O goodly golden chain, wherewith Ephyre the virtues linked are in lovely wise, and noble minds of yore allied were in brave pursuit of chivalrous emprise, that none did others' safety despise, nor aid envy to him in need that stands, but friendly each did others' praise devise, how to advance with favorable hands, as this good prince redeemed the Red Cross Knight from bands. Okay, so I think the good prince here is Arthur, because from what I recall, it mentioned that Arthur had saved the Red Cross Knight. Who, when their powers impaired through labor long, with due repast they had recured well, and that weak captive wight, I think that was Una, now wexed strong, them list no longer there at leisure dwell, but forward fare as their adventures fell. But ere they parted, Una fairer besought that stranger knight his name and nation tell. Oh, this is the story of Arthur. This might be boring. We'll see them. Least so great good as he for her had wrought should die unknown and buried be in thankless thought. That is definitely the fate that I fear. Fair virgin, said the prince, ye me require a thing without the compass of my wit, for both the lineage and the certain sire from which I sprung from me are hidden yet. Oh, maybe that's the perplexity. For all so soon as life did me admit into this world and showed heaven's light, from mother's pap I taken was unfit, and straight delivered to a fairy knight, to be upbrought in gentle thews and martial might. Ooh. Well, I'm answering that if I can't figure it out. Unto old Timon he me brought belive, old Timon, who in youthly years hath been in warlike feats the expertest man alive, and is the wisest now on earth, I ween. His dwelling is low in a valley green, under the foot of roaring mossy hoar, from whence the river Dee as silver clean, his tumbling billows roll with gentle roar. There all my days he trained me up in virtuous lore. What a great story. Thither the great magician Merlin came, as was his use, oft times to visit me, for he had charge my discipline to frame, and tutors nouriture to oversee. Him oft and oft I asked in privity, of what loins and what lineage I did spring, whose answer bade me still assured be that I was son and heir unto a king, as time in her just term the truth to light should bring. Well worthy imp, said then the lady gent, and pupil fit for such a tutor's hand, but what adventure or what high intent hath brought you hither into fairyland? A reed, Prince Arthur, crown of martial band, full hard it is, quoth he, to read aright the course of heavenly cause, or understand the secret meaning of the eternal might that rules men's ways and rules the thoughts of living wight. For whether he through fatal deep foresight me hither sent for cause to me unguessed, or that fresh bleeding wound which day and night whilom doth rankle in my riven breast with forced fury, following his behest. That could be the perplexity. 2. Me hither brought by ways yet never found. You to have helped I hold myself yet blessed. Ah, courteous knight, quoth she, what secret wound could ever find to grieve the gentlest heart on ground? Dear dame, quoth he, you sleeping sparks awake, which troubled once into huge flames will grow, ne ever will their fervent fury slake, till living moisture into smoke do flow, and wasted life do lie in ashes low. Yet Scythian's silence lesseneth not my fire, but told it flames and hidden it does glow. I will reveal what ye so much desire. Ah, love, lay down thy bow, the whiles I may respire. It was in freshest flower of youthly years, when courage first does creep in manly chest, then first the coal of kindly heat appears to kindle love in every living breast. But me had warned old Timon's wise behest, those creeping flames by reason to subdue, before their rage grew to so great unrest, as miserable lovers used to rue, which still wax old in woe, whilst woe still waxeth new. That idle name of love and lover's life, as loss of time and virtue's enemy, I ever scorned and joyed to stir up strife in midst of their mournful tragedy. I wont to laugh, with them I heard to cry and blow the fire which them to ashes brent. There God himself, grieved at my liberty, shot many a dart at me with fierce intent, but I them warded all with wary government. But all in vain. No fort can be so strong, ne fleshly breast can armed be so sound, but will at last be won with battery long, or unawares at disadvantage found. Nothing is sure that grows on earthly ground, and who most trusts in arm of fleshly might, and boasts in beauty's chain not to be bound, doth soonest fall in disadventurous fight, and yields his captive neck to victors most despite. In sample make of him your hapless joy, and of myself now mated as ye see, whose prouder vaunt that proud avenging boy did soon pluck down, and curbed my liberty. For on a day pricked forth with jollity of looser life and heat of hardiment, ranging the forest wide on courser free, the fields, the floods, the heavens with one consent did seem to laugh on me and favor mine intent. For wearied with my sports, I did alight from lofty steed, and down to sleep me laid. The verdant grass my couch did goodly dight, and pillow was my helmet fair displayed. Whilst every sense the humour sweet embade, and slumbering soft my heart did steal away, meseemed by my side a royal maid, her dainty limbs full softly down did lay. So fair a creature yet saw never sunny day. I think he's being seduced. Most goodly glee and lovely blandishment she to me made, and bade me love her dear, for dearly sure her love was to me bent, as when just time expired should reappear. But whether dreams delude or true it were, was never heart so ravished with delight, ne living man like words did ever hear, as she to me delivered all that night, and at her parting said, she, queen of fairies' height. When I awoke and found her place devoid, and naught but pressed grass where she had lien, I sorrowed all so much as erst I joyed, and washed all her place with watery eyen. From that day forth I loved that face divine, from that day forth I cast in careful mind to seek her out with labor and long time, and never vowed to rest till her I find. 9 months I seek in vain, yet nil that vow unbind. Is it the House of Holiness? He said he was in the forest. And then this girl just came up to him. We're almost at the in fact, I think we are already here. Thus as he spake, his visage waxed pale. Okay, so now Arthur's turning white, telling this to Una. And change of hue great passion did bewray, yet still he strove to cloak his inward bale, and hide the smoke that did his fire display. Till gentle Una thus to him gan say, O happy queen of fairies, that has found mongst many one that with his prowess may defend thine honor and thy foes confound. True loves are often sown, but seldom grow on ground. Oh yeah. I think the grass was the couch. Thine, O then, said the gentle recross knight, next to that lady's love shall be the place, O fairest virgin, full of heavenly light, whose wondrous faith exceeding earthly race was firmest fixed in mine extremest case. Those question marks are not question marks. Those are like footnotes or something that are coming up as question marks. And you, my lord, the patron of my life, of that great queen may well gain worthy grace, for only worthy you through prowess prief, if living man mote worthy be to be her lief. Okay, and so now we've read the whole part, and the perplexity line is here. Okay, so okay, waxed pale just said that they both talked of their loves. The sun goes down. Arthur gives him a thing of gold. Red Cross gives him a Bible with golden letters. Arthur goes to seek his fairy queen. And then Red Cross and Una go off on their own, and then they traveled, gan to spy an armed knight towards them. And so this guy comes up. Nigh as he drew, he's unarmed. He has a rope around him, maybe around his neck. The Red Cross knight finds him senseless, Never saw someone so bad. He didn't say anything, but adding new fear, staring wide with stony eyes, astonished stood, as if he'd seen infernal furies. So this guy's terrified. So this is something else. This is something else entirely. This was not in the part from the beginning of the canto which we read, which was about Arthur. Him yet again and again bespake the gentle knight, who naught to him replied, but trembling every jointed in with quake, and faltering tongue at last these words seemed forth to shake. So this is where we did happen into the story. For God's dear love, sir knight, do me not stay, for lo, he comes fast after me. He's terrified. Eft looking back would fain have run away, but he him forced to stay, and tellen free the secret cause of his perplexity. Oh, I see. That's it. This line is said by the guy who's trembling, but this part is talking about the Red Cross Knight. He said, because before, he said basically he would have run away while he was looking back, but the Red Cross Knight forced him to stay and tell the secret cause of his perplexity. So he's asking, why is this guy that showed up all freaked out on a horse with a rope around his neck so perplexed? So I guess it still poses the question, but at least that, so basically what did this guy see is the question. But none more by his bold hearty speech could his blood frozen heart emboldened be, frozen with fear, but through his boldness rather fear did reach, yet forced at last he made through silence sudden speech. Am I now in safety sure, quoth he, from him that would have forced me to die? Maybe it's that the Archamagon, the wizard. And is the point of death now turned from me, that I may tell this hapless history? Fear not, no danger is nigh, then shall I you okay. Fear not, quoth he, no danger is nigh. Then the guy continues, then shall I you recount a rueful case, said he, the which with this unlucky eye I late beheld, and had not greater grace. And those question marks are so confusing. They mean nothing. That question mark means nothing. Had not greater grace me reft from it, and been partaker of this place. Here's the story. I lately chanced, would I had never chanced, with a fair knight to keep in company, Sir Terwin hight, that well himself advanced in all affairs, and was both bold and free, but not so happy as mote happy be. He loved, as was his lot, a lady gent that him again loved in the least degree, for she was proud and of too high intent, and joyed to see her lover languish and lament. Okay. From whom returning sad and comfortless, as on the way together we did fare, we met that villain, here it is, God from him me bless, that cursed wight, from whom I scaped whileer. A man of hell that calls himself Despair, who first us greets and after fair areeds of tidings strange and of adventures rare. So creeping close as snake in hidden weeds, inquireth of our states and of our nightly deeds, which when he knew and felt our feeble hearts embossed with bale and bitter biting grief, which love had launched with his deadly darts, with wounding words and terms of foul reprief, he plucked from us all hope of due relief. Well, his name is Despair, that erst us held in love of lingering life. Then hopeless, heartless, gan the cunning thief persuade us die, to stint all further strife. To me he lent this rope, to him a rusty knife. Whoa. With which sad instrument of hasty death that woeful lover, loathing languor light, a wide way made to let forth living breath? But I more fearful of more lucky wight, dismayed with that deformed dismal sight, fled fast away, half dead with dying fear. Whoa. Ne yet assured of life by you, Sir Knight, whose like infirmity like chance may bear, but God, you never let his charmed speeches hear. Wow. Okay. So I got the answer. Yes! Yes, yes, yes! So, what secretly perplexes thee? The terrified knight had met with despair, who convinced him of the worthlessness of going on in life and enough to have him put a noose around his neck and bid his knightly friend to slay himself with a knife. Wow. That's pretty cool. I actually, that character, that's a cool character. Despair. You meet despair, and then despair convinces you to kill yourself because he takes away all your let me get the yeah, I know, right? Well, he takes look at this line. He takes away all your, with which sad instrument of hasty death that woeful lover, loathing languor light. Yeah. But that's good though, because we basically like acquainted ourselves with the story of the Fairy Queen, and I hadn't gotten the Fairy Queen in quite a long time. So I'm glad I went through it, but yeah, that was a long time. We got to hear the one our original or very early version of the Arthur tale, which is pretty cool. Let me get rid of that. Oh, what? Oh yeah. And get rid of that. Okay. So I will put this in, but I do want to look up who Tasser and Spencer were, and I think I'll probably call it a night at that point. I don't know if you were here earlier, but right when I came on, man, on Monday when I did this, like after work from like 5:30 until like 11. Oh my god, I was so tired. It was really tiring. I even went to sleep on time and I was still exhausted. But it was good, worth it. Of love, I'll blank nothing but good. Huh. This is a good one. That's what I say. And in the meantime, I'm going to look up Spencer. Hey, this guy's your namesake, man. Spencer. All right, cool. We got our answers in. We can chill. I'll just look up Spencer and Tasso, and then we'll answer that one and maybe call it a night. Okay, English poet celebrating the Tudor dynasty, premier craftsman of nascent modern English verse, greatest poets, deeply affected by Irish fairy mythology. We got a little dose of that. His house was burned to the ground during the 9 Years' War, causing him to flee Ireland. He died in 1599, born 1552. Okay, and Tasso, Torquato Tasso, yeah, they're very close in years. Look, Tasso was 1544 to 1595, and Spencer was 1552 to 1599. Interesting. One born in England, well, one born in Ireland, and the other one born in Italy. Very interesting. Ireland, published 9 Years' War, Driven from Home, Shepherd's Calendar, Fairy Queen. Influences, Chaucer, Petrarch. I wonder if they knew of each other. I saw no mention of Tasso there. Nor did I see any mention of Italy either. So he may not have visited. Okay, what's Tasso's story? Born in Sorrento. Whoa. Oh. Neapolitans. Father declared a rebel of the state, patrimony taken, educated by the Jesuits. Well, at the age of 8, Tasso was already famous. Father's poor, came back, handsome and brilliant, Dirk of Urbino. Venice, went to Venice. Tasso's life was in Ferrara. He was frank and lacked tact. Jerusalem Liberata. Ennobling the Italian epic style by preserving strict unity of plot and heightening diction. Chose Virgil for his model, took the first crusade for subject, infused the fervor of religion into his conception of the hero, but his natural bent was romance. And how is the Fairy Queen described here? Fairy Queen, oh yeah, this was done for like the court of the queen. Originally indicated 12 books. One of the longest poems in the English language. It's an allegorical work. Can be read as he intended on several levels of allegory, including as praise of Queen Elizabeth I, several knights, and an examination of several virtues. And the aim was to fashion a gentleman or noble person in virtuous and gentle discipline. Hey, that's a pretty good reason to read a poem. Probably has that effect. I got a little dose of that. Interesting. Yeah, I don't really see oh, well, okay. Virgil strove to emulate Spencer strove to emulate Virgil. So both of them were imitating Virgil. Anyway. Okay, cool. All right. Back to the real work here. Of love I'll discourse. Oh! Bravo, bravo, Spencer. You overdid yourself though with your erudition. You would have gotten it otherwise. Of love I'll speak nothing but good. Why not speak of love's follies? Ooh, troubadour verse. Okay, good. So I will. I've already been inveigled into this. I can't resist. I'm trying to be good and stop this earlier so I don't drive myself, and I will. Of love. I find it so fun to conceive of this like a chore. It's so funny. It's like, oh, I have to dig this ditch, and it's like, oh, I have to do another sentence. Wow, there's a lot. Oh, you're not seeing this. There's a lot of love phrases in the troubadour verse. We are looking for what? Oh. Huh? Oh god. Stupid thing. There we go. Okay. So this is Pouvez-on ne vous fleurir? By whom? Guillaume de Poitiers. Guillaume de Poitiers, 12th century. So this was written 400 years before Tasso and Spencer. And now I've lost it. And now I'm not looking for the right thing. What am I looking for? Okay. So the question is, why not speak of love's follies? Since we see fresh flowers blowing, field and meadow greenly glowing, stream and fountain crystal flowing, fair wind and breeze, it's right each man should live bestowing joy as he please. Of love I'll speak nothing but good. It's the refrain of the poem. Why have I not had all that I could? Likely I've had all that I should, for readily it grants joy to one who's understood love's boundary. It's been the same all of my days. I've had no joy of love always. Too late now to change my ways. For knowingly, I've done much of which my heart says that's nullity. For this reason I win less pleasure. What I can't have I always treasure. And yet the saying proves true forever. For certainly to good heart comes good luck in measure. Suffer joyfully. You will never prove faithful to love unless you're submissive to, and to neighbors and strangers you act quite humbly, and to all who live within its view obediently. Obedience we must ever show to others if we'd love, and so it's fitting that from us should flow true courtesy. We must not speak at court as though born vilely. This verse, I'll say to you, is worth more if you'll comprehend it first, and praise the words I gave them birth consistently. I too will praise as finest on earth its melody. My Stephen, though here I keep my birth, there presently I trust you'll read this and of its worth give guarantee. That's it. That troubadour verse is not to be messed with. Even in translation, that's a pretty potent love song. But imagine it in Provençal or whatever sub-pre-European language it was written in. Wow. So the question was, why not speak of love's follies? Which came from of love I'll speak nothing but good. Well, I like the line before. Yeah, right? World needs another Sinatra. Why not speak of love's follies? I like how he answered it right there. It's right that each man should live bestowing joy as he pleases. Why speak of folly when each man can bestow joy so bountifully? Oh, I didn't. Okay. There we go. Done. And I am going to call it a night. I'm not even going to put the next blank up. And then I'm going to sleep in a very timely way, having done a great journey with the Red Cross Knight and Arthur, and this last one was nice. And what did we do at first? Can't even remember. Be fun to review. Yeah, let's review. What did we do? Oh yeah, Dodsley. I think that's when the foreign ambassadors. Oh yeah, the steps. That was the first one. Before that, oh yeah, there was Rambeau. I think you might have come in during Rambeau. Lower down there are sewers. That one was good. Oh, and then the coconuts. Oh yeah, we guessed coconuts, but got it wrong. And this one I did alone. Didn't have to do too many alone. Rambeau. You, yeah, Arthur Rambeau. It was interesting, that one. Rambeau really works well here because he's so colorful. This was the Rambeau. Pretty interesting. The last line there. In hours of bitterness, I imagine balls of sapphire, of metal. I am master of silence. Well, it's hard to say goodbye. It truly is. But I must. So, thanks for stopping by. I was quite delighted to see you and Gertz pop in. So, I wish you a fine evening and see you soon. Maybe later tomorrow. I might come on tomorrow like 2 hours. And then Friday night, definitely I'll pull like some serious hours in here. And then Saturday and Sunday, some serious hours because I've got this screen down and I'm ready to go. Good night.